Madhyana Timirandasya Dhananjana Chalakaya Chachkul Umidita Mina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Tapitamina Bhutale Vayam Rupa Kadama Yam Kadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunandam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanashvari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for accepting to give us an opportunity today.
Recording in progress.
Should we start? Okay. Narayan Namaskrityam Narmachaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriyeta Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavate Dhamishloke Bhakti Bhavtinashtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So now we have a new chapter. Chapter 15, text number 1. Yes. So you go to the text 1 first. Maitreya Vacha Prajapatayam tu tat teja parotejo hanam diti Dadara Varshani Shatam Shankamana Surardhanat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Maitra said, My dear Vidur, Diti, the wife of sage Kashyap, could understand that the sons within her womb would be a cause of disturbance to the demigods. As such, she continuously bore the powerful semen of Kashyap Muni, which was meant to give trouble to others for 100 years. Okay, you can request someone to read the purport. Anybody likes to read the purport?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can read the purport.
Yes.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great sage Sri Maitreya was explaining to Vidura the activities of the demigods, including Lord Brahma. When Diti heard from her husband that the sons she bore within her abdomen would be the cause of disturbances to the demigods, she was not very happy. There were two classes of men, devotees and non-devotees. The non-devotees are called demons and devotees are called demigods. No sane man or woman can tolerate the non-devotees giving trouble to devotees. Diti, therefore was reluctant to give birth to her babies. She waited for 100 years so that at least she could save the demigod from the disturbance from that period. Hare Krishna.
So in the previous chapter, we've been reading about how Diti gets pregnant by Kashyap Muni. And later on, Kashyap Muni informed her in many, many verses that we have done conception at the wrong time. And the result will be, you will be mother or become a mother of two demonic sons who will give trouble to everyone. Shri Prabhupada explains in the purport that the sage Maitreya is explained to Vidura. Now you should know that this third canto is a conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. And it's one of the longest longest canto in the Bhagavatam, other than the 10th canto. So when Diti heard that her sons would be the cause of trouble or miseries or disturbance to demigods, she was not happy. So this, Sri Prabhupada said, there is always two classes of beings, divine and demonic, or devotees and non-devotees. Those who are worshippers of Vishnu are called Devtas. And those who don't worship Vishnu, they are called Asuras, or the non-devotees. And one can read at length the different qualities of Devtas and Asuras. If you go to Bhagavad Gita, there is a long list of qualities a Devta has, whereas the demigods, the non-devotees or the demons, they have only 6 qualities. And what is the biggest difference? The difference is devotees, they worship Krishna or Vishnu, and the devotees abide by the scriptures. The third quality is that they know what to do and what not to do. So because they believe in scriptures, they follow the direction of the scripture. Sri Prabhupada says elsewhere, in this world, if you talk of auspicious people, there are 3. The first one are those who read scriptures and try to follow the scriptures. This is the first class or first category. The second category are those who are normal people and they abide by the scriptures and follow their work properly, and they aim for moksha or liberation. And the third category of auspicious people are the devotees. Sri Prabhupada says of the all 3, the last one, the devotees are the best, because they are the well-wishers of everyone. And because their heart is very pure, they always engage in the service of Krishna. Now when Diti is actually born from a divine person, so she is not feeling good that my sons will give trouble to others. That's why she kept the pregnancy for 100 years. It's quite a long time. And so that at least the Devtas would not be given any trouble. We'll move on to text 2. Murli Prabhu, you can put it to text 2. Loko tena hata loke lokapala hata shaja jasha na vedayam vishwasrije dvanta vyatikaram disham. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon were impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is this expansion of darkness in all directions? So imagine Diti is bearing sons who will become demons, because these 2 sons are Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And these are the first 2 demons in the age of Kali, in the age of Satyuga. Satyuga, when everything was good, these two demons are the way first created demons. So if somebody likes to read the purport, can read.
I can read the purport.
Yeah, text
There are
two
no
purport.
volunteers. It appears from the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that the sun is the source of all lights for all the planets in the universe. The modern scientific theory, which states that there are many suns in each universe, is not supported by this verse. It is understood that in each universe there is only one sun, which supplies light to all the planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and we see them glittering at night. We can understand that they are reflectors of light. Just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight, other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the sun in the womb of Diti expanded darkness throughout the universe. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so this is the influence of Diti bearing demonic sons. And these demonic sons, they bring about disturbance in the creation or the universe throughout. For example, if you go to Mahabharata, then it is already written in the Mahabharata that Duryodhana is a partial incarnation of Kali Yuga. And when Duryodhana was born, the similar effect was there. The sky became dark, sun became impaired. Seeing this, Vidura told Dhritarashtra that kill this son who will ruin the entire dynasty. But Dhritarashtra did not agree. He wanted his son Duryodhana to remain alive. That's why the Mahabharata in the beginning is written due to Duryodhana. So many demonic activities followed one by one, which one can never imagine. So this is called Duryodhana, who is similar to this demonic, but these demons were much more powerful than Duryodhana. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. We'll be reading how huge they were. They were so tall. We had already read about Hiranyaksha that he touched the clouds. And when the Lord came to retrieve the earth, he fought with him. In the 7th canto, we'll be reading about how Lord Vishnu had to appear as Lord Nrsimha to destroy or to finish Hiranyakashipu. So here Srila Prabhupada gives also additional information that from sun comes all the light. When you speak the mantra, the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhiyo Yona Prachodhyat. Savitra refers to sun. From sun, all the energy comes. And there's a class of people who only worship sun. They are called Shauryas. Because they reason that due to sun, all the energy is coming, and all the energy is emanated by the sun. And here Srila Prabhupada says, at night you see so many stars twinkling, and they are reflecting the light of the sun. So is the moon. A moon is also a star. It's written in Bhagavad Gita that amongst the stars, I am the moon. It says among the nakshatras, I am Chandra. Chandra means moon. So in this way, the light is spread everywhere. Now, due to the presence of deity's pregnancy, due to the pregnancy of deity's pregnancy, we find that the darkness started spreading everywhere. So we should learn from these two verses that the more there is a presence of demonic people, things go haywire, even in the creation. Like this example is given of the sun. When sun becomes dark, it means the moon will also become dark, and the stars will also become dark. And the darkness will spread everywhere. And in this way, we find that due to demons, everyone suffers. Not just the devotees, but everyone else suffers. We can read at length, as I explained earlier in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one of the words spoken by a demonic person. Demonic person is also called Asura. He says, by my scheme, I have collected so much wealth, and in future I will have more wealth. I'll enjoy my wealth. I'll also perform sacrifice in my name. And in other words, he says, because of my being or my presence, I have destroyed so many people. Whoever comes on my way, I destroy them. And it is I who is to be worshipped. So demon artificially thinks or superficially thinks that he has become God. Just like in the case of Hiranyakashipu, he had already announced in his kingdom that I am the only person to be worshipped and that I should be worshipped. My deities should be made, my idols should be made, and people should bow down and worship them. And in the case of Ravan, we find that he became so powerful that the whole world was scared of him. And simply by hearing his name, people will shiver. That was the power of Ravana. And Ravana could not be defeated by him, by anyone, because through his austerities, he became so very powerful. If you read the Balakanda in the Ramayana, we find that Vishwamitra comes to King Dashrath and requests that his son, Lord Rama, should accompany him, because they were performing a long sacrifice, which was almost ending. At that time, two demons came to frustrate them by throwing blood and stool in the yajna, in the altar. So when he requested Dashrath, of course we know King Dashrath was not happy, because Ram was a darling son of Dashrath, and he could not live even for a moment without him. So he refused, and this made Vishwamitra very angry. And before he could curse, Vashishta told Dashrath that allow Ram to go. Ram will benefit a lot. He'll be taught so many weapons. He'll be benedicted by weapons. And furthermore, his fame will increase. And that is what happened. That he became very famous. He got Mother Sita. He changed the stone into Ahilya. That was also done. And the two demons were punished. Subhahu was killed. Maricha was thrown far away, over crossing the ocean. So all this we can read in Ramayana. So we find that demonic people will always create trouble. Sri Prabhupada says in the lectures that the demonic people don't like Hare Krishna or don't like this Hare Krishna movement. And they try to bring so many obstacles in our Sankirtan movement. But he says, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and under the protection of Lord Nrsimhadev, we should go on with our Sankirtan movement and spread it throughout the whole world. Jad dekha tahi kaho Krishna upadesh, amara agya hai taro desh. Whoever you see, whomever you meet, preach Krishna consciousness. In this way, deliver the whole land. It means all the countries can be delivered if people take up this Sankirtan movement, especially chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, demons, wherever they come in or they step in, they bring so much trouble to the world. And people can't live happily. People will have so many problems. So we should try to remain divine. Of course, devotees are divine people, but the non-devotees are not divine, and they are not classified as devtas. There's a verse Sri Prabhupada gives that many demons and asuras, they worship demigods, especially like Brahma, Shiva, or even a Devi. But they still come under the category of asuras. Why? Because they worship demigods, but they don't want to worship Vishnu. For example, like Hiranyakashipu himself. He worshipped Lord Brahma and he got all the benedictions. But he refused to worship or recognize Lord Vishnu. That's why he's called Asura. Even Ravan was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And he was very knowledgeable. He was the son of a Brahmana. And he knew Vedas very well. But he was always against Lord Vishnu. And that's why those who are against Vishnu, they are not devotees, they are demons. So if one wants to become a divine person, then the worship of Krishna has to begin. The worship of Lord Vishnu begins by chanting of the holy name, and then the rest follows automatically. That's why in our movement, Sri Prabhupada says that we should go on chanting non-stop. In this way, we will be benefited to the maximum. So if one wants the fullest benefit of the holy name and remain divine, then one has to practice chanting. It's only by practicing one can get an attachment towards chanting. Not only that, he will understand so many things because of chanting Hare Krishna. So, and a demonic person, now one more point I would like to, most of you may be knowing, that in the 4 ages, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, in the age of Satyuga, the demons were not there. The first demons were Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. The age that followed, Treta Yuga, the demons would stay in the lower planetary systems only. That is the place that was designated for them. And then came the Dwapara Yuga, in which the divine and demon, they appeared in the same family. Like Mother Devaki, she's divine, where her brother, Kamsa, was a demon. So they entered into one family. Now, the most shocking thing to hear is in the age of Kali Yuga, the divine and the demonic natures are already there in each person, in each one of us. It means if you look into your heart, we have 2 divisions, the divine division and the demonic division. Now it's our choice whether to stay divine or to become demonic. So if you practice Krishna consciousness, then all the demonic qualities go away and we can become established in a divine, good, at least the mode of goodness will be seen in us. So by practice of Krishna consciousness, one can become divine by practicing the rules and regulations of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Prabhupada says Bhakti Yoga can be practiced by anyone. The school of Bhakti or the Bhakti Devi, she doesn't discriminate between anyone. she sees everyone to be her children. And everyone or anyone who practices bhakti yoga, she will help that person and gain. That person will gain and become a devotee. So we can become devotees if we follow the process given by our acharyas. You all know the main acharya, Srila Prabhupada himself. His very life, his very way of life is very, very divine. And we can learn from him by associating with the instructions or following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. By reading his books, the divine side will become stronger in our heart, and the demonic side will become smaller. And in the due course, if we continue the process, it will be removed. So what are the divine qualities? There are many. If you read the 16th chapter, I can give you a list of the divine qualities. Krishna tells Arjuna that there are two types of beings, divine and demonic. We can read the divine qualities which are there in the 16th chapter, verse number 1, 2, 3. If you read 1, 2, 3, then you see a list of divine qualities. The very first one is fearlessness. Second is purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Then charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, means Arjun, belong to the godly man endowed with divine nature. So if you count these qualities, there are many, and we should try to learn the Sanskrit of each quality. For example, fearlessness is called abhayam. Purification is called sattvam samshuddhi. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge is called swadhyaya. Charity is called dana. Self-control is called dhamma. Performance of sacrifice is called yajna. Study of the Veda is also called swadhyaya. Austerity is tapa. Simplicity, saralta. Non-violence is called ahimsa. Truthfulness is called satya. Freedom from anger means anakruda. Renunciation is called vairagya. Tranquility is called shanti. Aversion to fault finding, we shouldn't see faults of others. Compassion for all living entities done by every preacher. Preaching means compassion for living entities. Towards all living entities. Freedom from covetousness. Then gentleness, modesty, and so on. So we try to learn the Sanskrit and the English. In this way, we can catch up. And if you go to text 4, there are only 6 qualities. First one is pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities are found in demonic nature. Or a person who has a demonic nature, you can see these 6 qualities. And you can easily make out that this person is a demon. Pride is so proud. He thinks that he is the most powerful person, and he's very puffed up because of his strength. In Kali Yuga, people don't even have strength. Arrogance, in his dealings, is very arrogant. Conceit, he wants everything for himself. And he can become angry for every issue. His behavior, his words are very harsh. And because he doesn't believe in scriptures, he is in ignorance. So this comparison should be done, who is divine and who is demonic. And if you have these qualities, well, if you have divine qualities, which appear only if we practice Krishna consciousness, naturally. Krishna consciousness is so powerful that the very first quality is fearlessness. There won't be fear. You become purified. Then you cultivate spiritual knowledge, become charitable, and so on. All these good qualities will appear in a person who practices Krishna consciousness. And these demonic qualities will always stay in us if we are bereft of Krishna consciousness. So we should try to catch up in our daily life the practice of Krishna consciousness, which is not just good for us, but it is good for everyone. Like if you read the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the very first verse purport, I think the last paragraph, it says that the Lord has come as a gardener who has come to remove the weeds and bring about new plants. What does that mean? The meaning is that the Lord has come and He is taking part in the war. He wants all these demonic people to die. And He wants fresh, divine people to grow like a plant, and they rule the planet. And that was the Pandavas. And when you say demonic, were the Kauravas, so all those who supported them, they all had a very bad faith. And they can never approach the heavenly planets. In the same Bhagavad Gita, it says that when one becomes demonic, he becomes a very harsh person and creates or gives trouble to everyone. He even says, Krishna says, tells Arjuna, to such people, I push them down in the lowest species of existence, and there will be no hope of coming back. So imagine there are lands where the demons are sent, or those who are ignorant of spiritual life, they are sent there. The whole description is given in the 5th canto. We'll be reading, I think, the final chapter of the 5th chapter. How the hellish planets in which people live, in which way, and what kind of trouble or punishment they undergo. So it's upon us to choose. Either we take up consciousness or we remain demons. Doesn't mean that everyone is a demon, but practically, real speaking, anyone who is not practicing Krishna consciousness is actually a demon. Because you can't trust them. And they misbehave and they can do anything at any time. Like Ravan was a demon. And he wanted to build a staircase from Lanka up to Indraloka. And the whole plans were there, and he was about to start. At that time, his sister, Surpanaka, she came there and told Ravan about Sita. All lies. And Ravan, instead of doing the good project, he went to kidnap Mother Sita, which brought about the end of the entire dynasty of Ravan's family. Everyone was destroyed. All his brothers, other than Vibhishan, were killed. All his sons were killed, like Hardushan. There were 14,000 demons together. They were all killed, destroyed. And then slowly his own other brother, like Kumbharan, was killed. His son Meghanath or Indrajit was killed. In this way, in the end, no one was left. On the last day, when Indrajit goes to the battlefield, Mandodari, the chaste wife of Ravana, and one of the greatest lady this earth has ever seen, she's amongst the satis, or the great chaste women of the world. She advised Ravan that now, what is left? Your own son, you're going to send him to the mouth of death. You don't know Ram and Lakshman. They are not ordinary people. They are Narayan and Sesh. They have come to destroy everyone. And what is the cause? The cause is Sita. You still have chance today, return Sita. Save my son and save yourself. But he didn't listen. You see, when man becomes puffed up, even if you give them 1,000 advices, a good one, good advice, they won't take up. Because pride destroys everyone. It is the pride which is an obstacle in our surrender to Krishna. If we have some pride in our heart, then we won't be qualified to return to Krishna. Not possible. We will stay here. Or maybe we'll glide down to the lowest kind of existence, become insects, animals, and so on. But people take this as, how can it be true? The scriptures never speak lies. Scriptures, each word is truth. Each sentence is truth. Each verse is truth. So the scriptures give us a vivid description of the hellish planets and demonic people. It is upon us to decide to take up Krishna consciousness or to give up Krishna consciousness. Like if we hear the story of Ajamila, we find how Ajamila becomes spoiled and how he is rescued by Lord Krishna. And he is reinstated as a devotee. And he practices Krishna consciousness and he qualifies himself to return back home, back to Godhead. So there are many incidents given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And these demonic qualities can come anytime. It's very easy to become a demon. And there's one way you can become a demon, is to get a false or a bad association. If you get a bad company, you can pick up all the bad habits. Drinking, smoking, meat eating, womanizing, gambling, and so on. If you are in such a company, then all these habits will appear in you. And slowly you go away from Krishna. On the other hand, if you come closer to Krishna, and if you're in an association of devotees, then you'll find that all the good qualities will appear in you slowly. And a time comes, if you keep up the process, then you become a divine person. And having become a divine person, you feel so happy that you will not give up unless you've been influenced by a demonic person. In this way, examples are given in the scriptures, how people became devotees, and scriptures also give us an example how people become demons or took up demonic values. So anyway, this comparison should be understood by us, known to us, and we should ask a question to ourselves. Do I have divine qualities or do I have demonic qualities? But if you take the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada says, even if you are demonic, that doesn't mean you don't practice Krishna consciousness. You can still practice Krishna consciousness and become divine. Hare Krishna. And have a nice Krishna consciousness. Any questions, any additions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for today's session. Prabhuji, I have a question. I mean, we discussed, and we've discussed this even earlier when we were doing the Bhagavad Gita, that when people worship the demigods, or for example, let's say Shiva and Hanuman and Mata Parvati or Durga, they are still called demons because they worship the demigods, but don't take Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
No, a bit of correction. Hanuman is not a demigod. Hanuman is a devotee of Dr. Rama.
Okay.
If someone is worshipping Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh, whatever it is, they are not demons. They are also divine. But they can become demonic if they do not accept the supremacy of Lord Vishnu. So we should understand this fact properly. You may be worshipping Devtas, but if you should know that beyond these Devtas is Vishnu. And if you are not accepting Vishnu, then you will be classified as Asura.
Even if you are a staunch devotee of Hanuman, but you don't accept
No, if
Hanuman's
you are a
wish.
devotee of Hanuman, you are naturally a devotee of Lord Ram. You are not demonic, you are divine. Hanuman is not a demigod. Hanuman is a pure devotee of Lord Ramachandra. So if you are worshipping a Vaishnava, you are naturally worshipper of Vishnu.
Like even Shiva is the Param Vaishnava, but Shaivites don't consider the supremacy of the Lord.
Yes. So they will be categorized as demonic.
In spite of worshipping Shiva.
Yes.
And even if a Hanuman worshipper does not acknowledge Rama as the Isht of Hanuman, they are also considered as demonic there. They
Yes,
just
because they are in ignorance. But if they are worshipping Hanuman and asking for the mercy of Hanuman, Hanuman is very merciful. He will direct them towards Ram. One thing I also heard from Sri Prabhupada that those who are not Vaishnavas, Vaishnavas is worshippers of Vishnu, they can be trusted. But those who are not Vaishnavas, they can never be trusted because they can change anytime and do something abominable. Yeah.
And Prabhuji, I just visited the Innisrath in Ireland, where it's an island that is Krishna Island. It's called Krishna Island, and the whole island is dedicated to the deities over there, Sri Radha Govindji. And this is in Ireland.
ISKCON temple?
Yes. And very, very beautiful, and the deities are very merciful and interactive. But the deities came to the island in 1970, and when they were looking out, and they are beautiful deities. I'll put it on the group today, the picture of those deities. The Prithu Prabhu, who is Irish and Srila Prabhupada's disciple, brought them to Ireland and said that I'll give you a very beautiful place to stay in. And he looked out for places, and Ireland being Catholic, no one gave him any space. He couldn't buy any property to build a temple, ISKCON temple. But now, then later on, he bought the whole island. He bought it. So Catholics, they worship Jesus, and Jesus, they say, is a son of God, and they also acknowledge somebody superior, but they are also demonic. Then that means
no, Christians are not demonic. If they are actual Christians, are not demonic. Sri Prabhupada says in a lecture that Jesus is a Vaishnava. So if they are following Jesus properly, they are divine. They are not demonic.
okay.
Well, they are bogus Christians and actual Christians. So we are talking of actual Christians. This happens even in our Hindu religion, or even in our Krishna consciousness. There are people who give up the practice, yet they call themselves devotees. And if you see their nature, they slowly become demonic and do nonsensical things. This happens everywhere. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Over to you, Murli Gopal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that.
Okay, so we have covered 2 verses today, 1 and 2, yeah?
Yes.
So we're giving the next one should be number 3, verse number 3 onwards.
Tomorrow. Number 3. Thank you for getting to details of demonic and divine qualities and the importance of a really good association.
All right.
Is there anyone else with a question or a comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, my realization today, no questions, but my realization was when we are looking at Mahabharata, for example, Kauravas and Pandavas, they are cousins. And Pandavas were devotees and Kauravas were demons.
Yes.
Again, when we are going back to Diti and Aditi's sons, they are also cousins. Diti's sons are all demons and Aditi's sons are all demigods. It's always, why is this cousins always are different like this? They are all one mother or brother is giving birth to the good kids and the other family having.
As we go to 6th canto, Diti also gives birth to demigods with the help of her husband. The Maruts are demigods. When we reach the 6th canto, she had the intention was to do. She was very angry towards Indra because of Indra, both her sons were killed. So she wanted a son who could kill or who will kill Indra. And her husband Kashyap did not like it. But he devised a plan that she followed Vaishnava principles, which means she practiced Bhakti Yoga. And because she practiced Bhakti Yoga, she became a mother of Maruts, who were, what do you call, Devtas. You'll be reading that in the 6th canto.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And
So
also,
what is more important is, as far as one is practicing Krishna consciousness, rules and regulations, one will always remain divine. So we should not give up Vaishnava principles. Yes, Urmila Mataji.
Prabhuji, in Maharashtra and all, they worship Ganesh.
Yes.
Yeah, so what do we
Krishna
say about...
હું તમને 5 મિનિટમાં ફોન કરવા ટેન્શન ક્લાસ. Hello, yeah. You're asking, Urmila Mataji, you're asking?
In Maharashtra, people, Maharashtrians mostly worship Ganesh, and for 10 days they have puja at home, 12 or something, yeah.
Yes.
So what do you say that if one is completely worshipping?
Well, worship of demigods is considered in the mode of goodness, but they still cannot be considered to be divine. But they are in the mode of goodness. In the 14th chapter, it says that people in the mode of goodness worship devtas. People in the mode of passion worship demons. And people in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. So those who worship devtas, they are still in mode of goodness. Okay, they are better than others. But when you go to the extreme understanding, even if they are worshipping, most Maharashtrians worship Ganesh, but they also worship Vittal. Vittal is Krishna. Yeah, they know Vittal is the supreme. So there's nothing wrong. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. To probably Gayatri Mataji's question regarding why is one demon, one divine, could be because I think there are 2 sides in a coin. So one is the demonic side and one is, so for nature to have balance, we should, the yin and yang, we should have demon and demonic. So therefore we can distinguish and we know whom to follow according to our gunas, the three modes. Can we answer that way?
Yes. Always there will be divine and always there will be demonic. Prabhupada says, if you simplify it, there will always be believers and there will be non-believers. There's another way of classifying them. So those who don't believe in God, they belong to the category of non-believers. Non-believers means demonic people. So even if you are in the mode of goodness, anyway, I mean, there are people who are very pious, but they don't worship even demigods. They just think that I'll just do good things, that's all. So they come in the category of punya, pious people. But that doesn't mean that they are divine people. Yeah?
And Prabhuji, just to ask you a question, what about the Swaminarayans? Are they, because they don't consider Krishna as the Supreme Personality.
Well, Swaminarayan are many categories. There are categories who worship Krishna. They know Swaminarayan is like their Acharya, and Krishna is supreme. It's only, I think, one or two sects who have interpreted their philosophy and they have made Swaminarayan the supreme. But actually it's not like that. In their books it's very clear that each moment one must remember Krishna. It's very clear in their books. Okay. They should give dana, charity, in the name of Krishna. They should worship Krishna. It doesn't say that they should worship Swaminarayan, no.
Prabhuji, in London, at that Nistan temple, Swaminarayan, 20 years ago, they weren't having Gita, any Gita in the temple. And their school were just teaching about Yogiji, nothing about our Sanatana Dharma, Krishna, Ram, anything. But now they have started to keep Gita ji. I don't know, our Prabhupada's Gita or whichever. Somebody told me.
So there is a good sign.
Yeah, there's a good sign.
Yeah. Swaminarayan actually is a Vaishnava sect. They are actually Vaishnavas. I've seen they follow Ekadashi so nicely. They follow vegetarianism nicely. They offer prasad. So they follow Vaishnava principles. So they will become purified in the due course.
But some of them, I know a lady who comes, who was visiting me 3 years ago or so. She'll always say Jai Swaminarayan, and I'll say Jai Swaminarayan and Jai Shri Krishna both, but she will never say Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah, maybe they have been polluted by their leaders, Wrong association. Yeah. Like in our ISKCON Nairobi temple, many ladies who come to gardens are from the Swaminarayan temple. And they do service so nicely. And also some men. Like our Rath Yatra we had on Saturday. Majority volunteers are from the Swaminarayan. They help us. For years, not now. For years. So even when they say Swami Narayan, the word Narayan means Krishna. The name is already there. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Muli Gopal, end the session. Tafadali.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's been one very informative session. Thank you so much, and also Mataji for a beautiful question you had and comments. I'd like to request all the assembled devotees kindly unmute. We chant one Maha Mantra in glorification of His grace.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalpatarushya kripa sindhubhaiv cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Santat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Rukma Prabhu ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Muli Gopal, for hosting.